and thank you for joining me for Scrapbook Sunday 101. I'm going to call this Scrapbook Sunday 101 Plus because we're also going to do a card. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, and come stamp and scrapbook with me. Don't forget to check out the Stampersdelightshop.com where you can get this mug and the other mugs that I've been showing you or I use every day, and some fun stamping apparel. Also, oh my gosh, can you believe that there's like 3 days left to celebration? So you want to get your orders in so that you can get those free celebration products. And also, don't forget to join Stampin' Up and Stampers Delight team so that you can get that boho blue mini embossing machine. Just go to stampersdelight.com and join the fun. Also, my March online class is with Around the Bend. You're going to get the half a pack of cardstock, designer series paper. You're going to get the gems and the ribbon. You're going to make 6 cards, 3 designs, 2 of each, and there's also a sampler class for the month of March. Now, let me flip the camera and we're going to get started. Okay, so here is my host code for February, if you want to place an order with me. Also, just to remind you, let me just bring this in real quick. March 1st, and it's almost here, we have a new suite coming out, online exclusive, and that is the Irresistible Blooms. You can see I've used mine, and there's also a video out there on this. So you want to check that out. And also, if you buy the bundle or the suite through me, you're going to get a PDF with 11 samples that you can recreate. 11 different samples with the instructions. One is from me, and there are 10 other demonstrators that are doing this collaboration. And I will send that out to you. Again, you need to order either the bundle, which is the dies and the stamps, or the whole suite. Okay? All right. So now let's get started with today's project. The online exclusive also has the classic letters. Great stamp set. I haven't played with that yet, but I know I'm going to love it because I love anything with letters, numbers, and these are nice and large. These are going to be great for scrapbooking. I will be using those soon. And then we also have 3 embossing folders. And if you didn't check out my other videos with this, go take a peek at those. And you'll see I use some of those. Just go to my YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok. I'm all over the place. Okay, but when you subscribe to YouTube, it'll tell you when I upload a new video or I go live. What I'm going to work with today is on page 58, Enjoy the Journey. This is a great suite, and as soon as I saw it, I knew what I wanted to do with it, and then of course I couldn't find the pictures. One of these days, I swear, I am going to get all my pictures organized. But I like this, the camping and the dirt bike. My son didn't have a dirt bike growing up. He did have a four-wheeler. And I figured I could still do a scrapbook page using the dirt bike instead of the four-wheeler. But I'm also going to show you a card with this today. So let's get started. And I am going to first do, first I'm going to do something a little different. Let me show you a few cards that I did with this suite. So I made a couple of quick thank you cards, mountain of thanks, and you can see that I tied these a little bit different. So this with the suite, you do get the baker's twine. I added the gems. So just 2 cute, quick thank you cards, mountain of thanks, and I used that great designer series paper. Could do a one sheet wonder with that, definitely. The next one I did, again, using the great paper as the background. And then you have this other die that cuts like a mountain. And I did everything in a silhouette. I'm so inspired by your courage. So this would be a, you know, a card to send to somebody if they're having a hard time, or maybe they just got over an illness, or maybe they're still dealing with an illness. So again, just putting a little of those die cuts right over that great designer series paper. And then here's another one. Wishing you joy in your next adventure. And there's the dirt bike. Again, I just used the background paper. And then, of course, one of those little icon elements. Okay. So there's a couple cards that I did with it. So let's first work on the scrapbook page. So I have an idea. I think I know what I want to do. Let's see how it plays out. Okay. So I'm going to use a basic gray as my background, 12 by 12. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. I know what I want on this paper. I want part of both of these. All right. I want these mountains here. And I want this part here. But of course, that's not going to fit. So what I'm going to do is I am going to fussy cut this. I just want these mountains. Now, by cutting this, I have all this other paper here, but I can use that for some cards or some more scrapbook pages. So this, we'll see how this comes out. Again, I think I know what I want to do. I have something in my mind. And the best way to see if it works is just go for it. So let's just cut this out. It's not too hard to fussy cut these mountains. Now remember the paper, the cardstock I'm using, the background, for the background there, that's 12 by 12. So this has to match up to close to that. So I already know that's 12 inches long. Let me see how wide this is. Okay, so the widest part is going to be about 4 inches. Okay, so, and the narrowest part, it's going to be 3.5. Okay, so now I want this part, but I don't want the pink up there. So I'm thinking 3.5. So let's do it this way. Let's do, if I take 3.5 off this part, that should work. I'm going to take 3.5 off here. I'll use that for something else. Whoop. So the smallest part of that was 3.5. So this is going to go right up about here. Let's see if it worked out. Perfect. So you see what I did? I took 3.5 here, cut 3.5 off at that top piece because I didn't want that. I want this to layer so it looks like more mountains. All right, now it is 12 by 12, so we are going to have to trim just a tad off here. And I don't know why I always turn that, but I just want maybe, let's do 1/2 inch here. Yeah, let's just do 1/2 inch. So if I do 1/2 inch on this side, I definitely have to do 1/2 inch on this one to make it the same. So let's do 1/2 inch here. Now they should match up. So this is going to go right there. This part is going to go right here. And now I have some dimension here. So let me go ahead and glue this part down. I'll lay this one down first. Just leave a little space there. And then this piece is going to go right here. So I can go ahead. I love the other side of this too, the stars. And you're going to see a card with that very shortly. All right, so let's just layer this one right here. Look at that. So I paired it up really pretty good. All right, so next what I want to do is I am going to bring in a piece of black cardstock. I am going to grab my stamp set, and my dies are all thrown all over in here, and usually I have them on a magnetic sheet, which I ran out of, so I got to get some more. All right, so let's take this piece right here. I know all those dies are just a mess. We're going to take this piece, and that's going to give me a mountain. And I am going to close this up. Let me bring in that little mini machine. I think I'll be able to use that for this. Might be a little too wide, but we're gonna, nope, it'll fit perfect. Okay, so I'm just gonna angle this so that I can make a little mountain with the black. This is the machine you can get with your starter kit right now. The boho blue, which sounds like it's going to be a new color in the new catalog. Okay, let's just put that one over there for now. Let's grab some paper snips. You might hear that heat going on. It is very cold here in New York, so my heat is kicking on more often than it normally does. Okay, I'm going to put this right down here in the corner. Just like that. And I can just lay it flat. It is going to go in a page protector. Okay, let's see. What else do I need here? I need to do a couple of these little guys. So I'm going to grab my dirt bike. And again, I'm going to bring that in. Oh my goodness, I sneezed. Oh, excuse me. I had to sneeze. Nothing like doing your video here, live video, and having to sneeze. Oh well. Okay, so let me just fix this. I think I'm going to make 2 of these. Again, I'm just making that in the basic gray. There I have one. So when my son was growing up, like I said, he had an ATV or a 4-wheeler. But our neighbor had the dirt bike. So they used to ride around in circles between the 2 yards for hours at a time. Johnny on his dirt bike, Ryan on his 4-wheeler. Oh my gosh, they had so much fun doing that though. I could use this scrapbook page and put a picture of me on a moped. When Reggie and I went to Aruba for the 2nd time, and we rented mopeds. But I'm not going to do that because I fell off the moped. Yes, only I could fall off a moped. Okay. Let me just grab my Take Your Pick tool. Pop that out. Get those little pieces out. I didn't need my wire brush because there's really not a lot of pieces to this. I like the fact that I can just make these into silhouette pieces. Okay. So now I'm going to grab some small dimensionals. And I'm going to put one right here. I think it'll hide it. So I am going to put one of the bikes right here. Let's see, I think I'll have him doing a wheelie. And if there's some of that dimensional sticking through, you can just tuck it behind there. And then this one. didn't want to come off here. There we go. Okay, and this one is going to go downhill. So there I have my two dirt bikes. One doing a wheelie and one going up. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is, because I know I have this picture, I just have to find it. It's probably a 4x6 size, but I want to make this matting a little larger. So I'm going to take the basic gray and the basic gray, and I am going to make this piece. I'm going to do 5.5. And I'm going to do 7.5. It's going to be big enough for a 5x7 piece or picture. I am going to put the gray down, but then I'm going to bring in another piece, and that is going to be the black, tying those colors together. And this is going to be 5.25. Let's see, did I do this one? I did this one at 5.5. I want to make sure that, okay, so this one's 5.5. This is going to be 5.25. And then my picture would be a 5x7, so it'll fit nicely on here. And this is going to be 7.25. And then as soon as I find my picture, it's going to go right here. So we'll go ahead and lay that down. Thank you to everyone who has commented and said that you enjoy the Scrapbook Sunday 101. I really do look forward to hearing from all of you. And the more comments, thumbs up, subscribers I get, the more I can do. So please tell all your friends. Okay, we've got a little glue there. I'm just going to rub that off. I don't want that there. Okay, and I can tuck this behind here if I want, but I'm going to put it right here. So this is where my picture is going to go. I am going to actually take this piece that I cut the mountains from, and I'm actually going to use that. I'm going to cut it at about 2 inches. I think that's going to be too wide, but I can cut it down. I just want that scraggly piece off. And then I am going to bring in the words that say, wishing you, it's easier to read here, wishing you joy in your next adventure. So I am going to go ahead and grab my Starry Sky. That should really show up. I didn't want to use black, so I'm going to do it in Starry Sky. I'm going to put it right about here. Oh yeah, that shows up nicely. And now I can trim it. So I can save this piece of designer series paper and use it for other things. So I'm just going to cut that. This is actually a 1-inch piece that I'm cutting out. And I'll save that for my next project or another project. And I am going to put that right there. Now I am going to use dimensionals. Again, it's going to go in a scrapbook page protector. I'm going to put those dies in there before I lose them. So let's just put this right here. Oh my gosh, I'm loving this page. When I'm done with this this tutorial, I'm going to have to go look for that picture. Look at that. I love it. Okay, now I'm going to bring in those icons, sticker icons, and I'm going to use, I think this one, like a compass type thing. Put one there. And then one right here. That one needs to be a little closer. There we go. Move all this out of the way so you can see it. And there I have a great scrapbook page just waiting for the picture or pictures. So again, I have a large area here. I know I have 2 pictures and 1 large one. So I could put a large one in here, or I can put the 2 small ones in here. But I already have an idea for what picture, when I find it'll go on there. But a lot of times I do scrapbook pages before I even have pictures in mind. And you'd be surprised, when you go through your pictures, you will find one that will go well on your scrapbook page. I hope you enjoyed this scrapbook page. So I'm going to do a quick card for you also. So I have a couple of things already done here. So I have a piece of Highland Heather, and I'm going to fold that. Maybe I should do this every time. Do a scrapbook page for Scrapbook Sunday, but then show you some cards you can do with it too. Get rid of that. Okay. Now, I've got these 2 pieces of Designer Series. Basically, I am doing the same thing. Okay, I'm going to be cutting that. I'm going to be fussy cutting that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down at 3 3/4. Okay. And I'll save that for the envelope. And this one, I'm going to do the same thing I did with that scrapbook page. I don't need any of this. I just need these mountains. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. I mean, they make beautiful cards, don't get me wrong, but I want the stars for this card. Okay. And again, I can use this to stamp on. So now this also has to be 3 3/4, because it's going to go right here. So I'm going to trim off just a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to trim off like 1 inch here. Okay. Or 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to turn it around and do 3 3/4. I wanted, this is the portion I wanted. So I got these little pieces. Okay. So now, did I cut this? 3 3/4. Oh, I didn't cut that yet. By 5. There we go. And this is going to go right up here, right on top of that. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down right over top. You could cut this off if you wanted to, if you wanted to save some Designer Series paper. That's always a good idea to do, if you'd like. Now I have a piece of Gorgeous Grape, and I'm going to cut that at 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to layer that on here, just like that. Okay. Now let me see what other paper I have here that I might want to use, because I did want some green in this. So I think what I will do is take a piece of Garden Green. Let me just grab that. Yeah, I think Garden Green will work. Grab a scrap piece of Garden Green. All right, so I have a sheet here. I don't need the whole sheet, so I'm going to cut a piece of that off. I'm just looking to see if I want to use something else this time, but I think that's how I want to do this one. And you know what? Instead of cutting that, here's another piece I have. I wonder, maybe I'll try this. I'm into cutting today. I don't know why. Let me cut off this piece. See if this will work. I just want a little bit of green, so let's see how I can do this. Let me trim that. Oh, you know what? I know what I'll use. I'm going to use that green, but I'm going to use this. And I'm going to do it this way. So I really didn't need to cut that. Okay, this is what I'm using. Again, had an idea in my head, wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but now I know. I'm going to use this piece of designer series paper, and I could have used that green cardstock, but I had a lot of this designer series paper here, so let's just use that. I'm going to cut that. I want to put that back in my tray before I forget it. Okay, so now I have this guy, and I'm just going to cut that right up here because I just want a little bit. I want this part, but not so much that part. So let's do right about there, I think. What I'm going to do is I already cut out this little tent in black and gray. So I think that would go nicely on there. So let's do that one. I'm going to use my detailed glue on this because it's very small areas. Come off there. There we go. Come on. There it comes. I like the really fine tip of this detailed glue. But a tip for you is if you use this as soon as you're done, do not hesitate, do not wait. Put that pin back in there so it doesn't get clogged up. All right, let's put that right here. I'm going to bring that over about this far. So I want to cut it right about there, and I am going to just trim that right about there. So it's actually going to cover up some of those. You might want to trim a little bit here. Let me grab this. I think I want to trim a little bit more. I want a little bit more of those trees to show. And it's easier to start with a smaller piece and cut it down. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and add some glue here. There we go. Put that right in the corner. I'm going to take my tent. I'm going to put that right there. And this I will grab dimensionals. My tent right there. And then this is going to layer right on top of my Heather Highland. There we go. This is from the Something Fancy. And I am going to grab the sentiment that goes with this says, "You belong among the stars." Put that right there. Again, using the dimensionals. Let me bring in those little icon gem thingies. I like the little fire. And we're just going to add that right here. grab an insert for the inside. I'm going to grab the trees. And let's see, some garden green. Get my mat because this is a photopolymer set. Don't overlook this set. I know sometimes things get overlooked because, you know, well, you don't really know what to do with it in the beginning. And I have that same problem. Sometimes I look at something, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And then I see a lot of things done with it and I fall in love with it. And there we have a card, another card made. And I'm sure you know somebody that likes to camp. So we're going to grab this envelope. Remember that piece right there? It's going to match with the stars. I could give this to my nephew, I guess. He likes to camp. Make it a birthday card. You can see a still shot of the scrapbook page and these cards that I've done at Stampersdelight.com on my blog. Also, don't forget to sign up for my free newsletter. I do tutorials on there also, and they are free. You just have to print them out. And there we have a matching envelope. Again, this is the Enjoy the Journey. Let me bring in that scrapbook page again so you can take a look at that. And the cards, the still shots will be on my blog. Thank you so much for tuning into Scrapbook Sunday 101 Plus, because there were some cards. Don't forget, if you want to place an order for February, use that host code. Also, time is running out for celebration, so you do want to get in on that. And until next time, keep on scrapbooking, scrapbookers and stampers. Bye.